You're listening to Darling Shine, a podcast by Ellidy Pullin and myself, Chloe Fisher.
Darling Shine is your survival kit to the unexpected shit life throws at you.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Darling Shine.
Hello, darlings. Welcome. I am seriously just so excited about today's episode. Can we just jump straight in? Okay, guys. So we have Ellie Cedric, one of our friends from home. We also call her Eggie. Everyone knows her as Eggie. So we've got Eggie coming in today. Eggie is an extremely rare and unique human. I'm telling you, you will never meet anyone as like free and liberated as the soul that is Eggie. When COVID fucks off, she's like gallivanting up and down, or she's actually gallivanting all over the world, sharing her light and wisdom about all things being comfortable in my skin and Labiaplasty. She actually started the movement Comfortable in My Skin 3 years ago. Happy birthday to Comfortable in My Skin, by the way.
Thank you.
Yes, you're doing so much. You're currently working on a coffee table book where you're shooting over 500 vulvas. We're going to dive straight into all this
And
because
now.
Yeah, you're doing boobs as well.
Yes, boobs
As a
and
jack of all trades.
tits and bits.
Tits and bits, darling. Tits and flaps. That's flaptastic. No, but you
Happiness is flappiness.
Happiness is flappiness, darling. But no, like you're going to tell us how labiaplasty is the fastest growing cosmetic surgery in the world, and statistics show a huge number of vulva owners are worried that they do not look normal downstairs. You're going to teach us how we can not shame the portal from which we came, darling. So welcome, Ellie. We've known you Chloe and I have known you forever. We've all grown up together on the northern beaches, and you are fucking wild, but you're also so amazing and so professional and just an absolute go-getter. So I've never been more excited. You're like our friend, but I'm still just in such awe and shock, and I just love you so much, Elle. Let's go. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I was getting teary at the start there. I'm like, don't cry, don't cry.
Oh, no.
Don't cry. Not today. But I think to start with, we love Ellie's stories. She literally pulls the most wildest shit out of her ass. Like I dead set will be sitting there. I actually remember one time when it was me, Chumpy, Ellidy, and Ellie were like sitting at the dinner table, and I don't know I can't even remember what the story was, but Chumpy and I just sitting there just going, what the fuck is she talking about? Kicking each other under the table. And you're just telling these stories like it's just like an everyday like occurrence, and Ellie's like, Ellidy like loves it, and like it was just but anyway
Chumpy and Chloe are so like and I'm like, oh my God, tell me everything.
But anyway, I want you to tell us a bit about what you do, because you basically have nannied for a royal family in India, and then you work at sex parties and childcare centres when you're in Australia. Like, how on earth do you, like, please tell me some stories from that, because that's fucking funny.
Explain.
Well, with the Indian family and the sex parties, it's quite hilarious because that was actually in the same building. So what happened with that was the Indian family, I've worked for them for about 6 years, and the dad owns India's one of their main suppliers of oil. So we travel a lot, and they have a place in Mayfair in London, and they asked me to be on standby in their new penthouse apartment. And so I was living in there, and while the family wasn't there, I became quite friendly with the neighbour who was the floor below me. His name's Edward Davenport. You can look him up. He'd just gotten out of jail. Eddie. Yeah, we called him Eddie. And he happened to host sex parties. His story is really interesting. He has very, very naughty parties for very rich and famous people.
And of course, we'd find you there.
Yeah. It was hilarious because I'd actually ran out of money, and he had 5 hookers that lived with him all year round, and I met them in the elevator. He always hired girls from Thailand, and their names were Mandy and Candy, and they were like, I told them, I was like, I've got to go and ask the door guy if I can borrow some money until my pay comes in for this job. And they were like, we know someone that could pay you to come and work at the bar. And at this time I didn't know that they were sex parties. And so he told me to dress sexy, and I used
What did you wear?
Oh
it
my
was
God.
like all the other girls when I arrived were in like lingerie that was pretty much triangles with diamantes, and no
Stop.
fabric over the nipples and no fabric over the crotch. And I had just finished working on the super yachts as a stewardess, so I turned up in my squat, like the shorts under the skirt.
Oh my gosh. Ellie,
And
oh my God.
and
You
an
are
H&M
usually the
t-shirt.
most overdressed person at everything. Like, I'm pretty sure you come to like funerals wearing like bright sequins and stuff. Like, you're always like, do you think this is okay to wear to a wedding? And we're like, like, you're always like dressed like in something hectic. So I'm surprised to see that you weren't like the out there one.
I know, I thought I was doing a bar shift. I didn't realize it was like a killing kitten sex party. Oh gosh,
Oh
and that
my
was my
gosh.
first shift, and I absolutely loved it, and I ended up working for him for the whole summer. And I
Wait,
think
what actually goes down? What actually went down there?
so. We would have different nights. So some nights it might be like, say, someone like the Chelsea soccer team who can't really go out into public without media, so they would hire the place, and then we would have supply like a party, pretty much.
Wow.
And then other nights it would be, say Killing Kittens is a sex party brand, whatever you want to call it. So sometimes, and you can just buy tickets and go to that. So people like you and me could just buy a ticket and turn up.
Right.
And they're really amazing because often it's people that like maybe feeling bisexual and want to explore being with someone the same sex. So they might go, or it might be couples that are wanting to try an open relationship. So they might go. Or it might just be someone that's a nymphomaniac and they might go. You can go for all different reasons.
Was it like Flaptastic where like chicks are running around with like Skittles popping out down there and stuff?
I don't know what Flaptastic is.
I don't know either.
It's Ellidy. It's Ellidy's vocabulary. She makes words up. You're gonna have to get used to that.
I was on Ellie's Instagram this morning and she's changed her bio recently to happiness is flappiness. And I was like, this whole episode, I'm just going to chuck the word flap in as many fucking times as possible.
You even told me that and I still didn't.
I was on the phone to Ellie this morning going like, this is going to be so flaptastic. And she's going, flappiness is happiness, rah, rah. And I'm like, fuck, this is going to be hilarious.
There was Skittles everywhere coming out. There would be like,
wait, stop. People put fucking Skittles in themselves.
So, were you born yesterday?
No, but like I'm just asking. Well, wait, what?
No. I mean, I have done that in a photo shoot once, which is actually very funny that Ellidy randomly said that. But I never saw that at the sex parties.
Okay. But I just wanted to clarify that.
Walk you through.
I don't know what you've been doing, Ellidy.
I don't do Skittles up you. But I thought at those like sex shows, there's like things popping out of.
Are you kidding?
Yeah. No, I've heard of it.
I know, but like...
I've heard of it.
Oh my gosh. Okay. But Elle, okay. Firstly, can you please tell us, like obviously we're going to be referring to vulvas a lot in today's chat. This is everything that you're working towards is normalizing vulvas. Can you please talk to us about what the difference between a vagina and a vulva is? Like explain the anatomy, doll.
Okay, sure. So the vagina is the canal. So that your menstrual flow will come through, or that your penis might insert if you're having heterosexual sex. So it goes up to your uterus where your baby Ellidy will come out. Very exciting.
Interesting, darling.
Mm-hmm. So it's that canal there. But people often call it the whole exterior parts. They'll often call that the vagina. But it's the wrong terminology. So that's why there's a huge movement now for people to call it the vulva, because it's kind of like taking back ownership of and getting to know it and understanding it. It's like if you ended up going to a health professional and there was something wrong with your labia majora or your labia minora and you didn't know your own anatomy, like how are you going to express that to a health professional? Or if you're in the bedroom and you're having intimacy with someone, it's a lot easier to communicate what feels good for you if you know the correct terminology for your own body.
And dudes need to know it too, or your sexual partner will need to know that too.
Yeah, so the vulva is like the clitoris, the the mons pubis, which is underneath where all your pubes are, your anus, your perineum, your labia minora, your labia majora, your urethra, which is where you pee from. So it's all the exterior parts
going on down there.
There's the vulvas, the whole exterior part. Yeah.
So all of that is essentially the vulva. Like,
yes.
Can you please talk to us about your journey growing up, and like what essentially led you into advocating about normalizing, everyone's vulva is normal? Can you talk to us about that path?
Yes, sure. So when I was about 14, I was sitting in a math classroom and a boy, he gave me a note and it actually said, "Do you have an innie or an outie?" And I remember thinking, like, Ellidy, this is what you said, that when you first heard innie or outie, you thought it was your belly button.
Yeah.
And I was the same. And I ended up finding out that he was talking about my vulva. And that's when I first heard the term innie or outie. And I was like, I don't know what I have and everything. And that's when I started completely freaking out, thinking that I was different and it was bad to have an outie or anything like that. And then as I got older, there was a lot of different things that stuck in my head. Like when I was surfing, I've heard the boys say she had a kebab pussy, all these little terminologies over the years that even girls have said around me. And it just created this thing in my head that I thought a certain kind of vulva was a better vulva than the other. And maybe the one that I had wasn't as socially acceptable as beautiful. And it just sort of got worse and worse as I got older. And I was the only person I ever spoke to about it was actually my sister. I used to cry to her all the time, and she was so amazing because they're pretty much same vulva, and she's like, it's beautiful, like it functions, we're so lucky. Like Nikki was always super amazing. But I really struggled. I couldn't get out of my head. Every time I went to go see a doctor, because I did go see just like the GP, they would just be like, you're normal, and they'd do maybe an STD check, or I just feel like no one ever really helped me. Like I was searching pretty hard for help, only in like the doctors. Like I never spoke to friends about it ever. I was really, I felt really isolated. I'm really close to my mum and dad, as you guys know, but I never even spoke to them. Until eventually my sister suggested, and this is when I was about in my early 20s, and she told me about labioplasty, and Nikki was like, maybe this could be something that could help you, because you've been through a long big journey of not connecting with this part of your body. So that's when I started looking into labioplasty. And when I was going in Sydney, the doctors in like Double Bay and stuff were just like, they didn't even look at my body. They were like, we can do this. This is what it costs. And at that time, I didn't have the money when I went to the ones in Sydney. And then this is when I went to India, because you guys know,
16. Sorry, you were 16 and you went to the
early 20s.
No, early 20s.
Oh, sorry. And they wouldn't even
listening skills, doll.
They didn't even look, and they said, "Leah, we can do it." That's why.
Yeah, they just give you options. They're just like, they were even saying like, because they hadn't seen mine. If your labia is 8 centimeters below your outer labia, they're like, we can do it under Medicare. But I mean, mine isn't that long, so I would have had to pay the full price. But I was like, I don't have that money. But then when I went over to India, I did have the money because I'd been saving for a long time. And that's when I had this amazing experience with this cosmetic surgeon over there who was just so Bollywood. He was just like, I could describe him so well. He's like a bigger guy. His head wobbles 1,000 kilometers. He's just like, stop.
I love it.
Oh, he was so great. Hilarious man. And he said to me, he's like, he was just such an amazing man. He's like, I do this and this and this. But the problem is that I was so awkward when I went in and asked for this surgery that I was calling it liposuction and going like this. I was like, I want liposuction. And we got into this really weird situation where this man thought that I wanted my legs liposuctioned. And so he was saying, he got a highlighter. He even drew on my legs. And then I ended up saying to him, it was so awkward. I was like, do you know that I mean and I said my vagina. And he was like, oh, and I had my undies on, and he was like, show me. And then he just was like, he was like, madam, this is just your labia. Like, and he was like, no. And then that's when we went back to his office, and he went and got a side mirror and like held it like this and made me turn like this. And he told me to put my teeth forward. And then this is when he was like, you should spend the money. It's the same price on getting a chin extension instead of fixing.
Shut up.
Yeah. And I was sitting there holding the mirror, just being like, what is happening? Like, why, how did I get myself in a situation like
your chin's your greatest asset, doll.
I know. When I left, I actually sent Steph a photo, like a selfie, our mutual friend Steph, being like doing this. I was like, the guy told me to change my fucking chin. Can you imagine?
I go in for labiaplasty and he's asking me to fix my face. You clearly have nothing wrong down there.
Moment where I was like, why on earth would I change my face? And then I was like, well, I guess that's when it all started for me, when I was like, why would I change my body, like down there, my vulva? And he did say to me, you need to go and look at others and you'll see that, you are just completely normal. And I just, took it much further, and I'm going to photograph 500 different ones and show the world that we are all normal.
That's amazing.
So good.
How many are you up to now?
About 320.
Wow.
Yes. So I've just been shooting a lot. It's funny because at the start, like the first year, I was obviously traveling a lot, nannying and sex parties. And then this year's been like Corona. So I go through waves where I'll do like, a lot of people, and then I'll just work hard on like doing podcasts or other things.
Can anyone book in to get these? Like, how do people book in if they want to book in to have one?
Yeah, anyone can book in for a photo shoot. I don't do anything online, like photo shoot wise, but anyone that has a vulva can book in. So I've done transgender women. I really struggle with cultural diversity, so I'm always open to asking anyone, like that's even age diversity, culture diversity. I'm calling in anyone with a vulva to come and be a representation of them, so that anyone that opens the book can be like, okay, this is me. This looks a little bit like me. So no one feels alone.
And it's not really just like a quick snap, like a quick photo shoot. It's more like a ritual. Can you explain that? Like you empower these women so much. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so everyone has a story and everyone has a journey. So that usually there's a reason why someone has come to me. And it's crazy how much I have learned from doing this for 3 years. There are so many things that I didn't know about that even existed. And like Chloe said, I do breasts as well. So sometimes people will come because they have breasts that are different sizes and they feel uncomfortable naked and they just want to stand naked in front of someone that's not going to judge them. So everyone comes with a different reason. There might be someone that I photographed someone a few weeks ago that has only ever been naked in front of one person, which is her husband, in her whole life. And so she was like, I'm 50 now. I just want someone else besides my husband to see me naked, just to see how I feel. Yeah. So whenever they come, we first sit down and I ask them what their reason is for coming. And then we do a whole workshop. So I photograph up to 4 people at once. So if there's 4 people, we'll shoot for 3 hours and the workshop will go for 2 hours. And through that, we do like anatomy. We do loads of talking. We tell stories. We actually go flip through my flaps together on the big computer. And we do like burning. So we write down, we do a lot of journaling together. We write down things that they want to burn, that they don't want to carry anymore. As they take off their clothes, they release things that they don't want to hold anymore. And we do like a ceremony. I have a lot of crystals. Chloe, you and I have always loved crystals. And so, when they finally go to take off their clothes, they can hold like a rose quartz crystal for self-love. But I would never make someone take their clothes off and be photographed until they were ready, until they're really comfortable.
You are seriously amazing.
Thanks,
I haven't
Chloe.
done one yet. Ellidy hasn't done one yet. But
Yeah, we haven't had ours shot, but you would just be liberating so many people. Like,
I think I tried to photograph you, Ellidy, when I was in Queensland with you a while ago, and you were like, "No, sis."
really? I don't even remember.
I asked you, you were like, "No, sis." I think when we went to the alpaca farm around then.
Well, you should photograph me now. It's very puff daddy down there. Pregnancy.
Yeah,
puff.
what's changed for you through pregnancy down there?
It's just puffy the last few weeks. But that's a thing. Like, it like is swollen,
Puff
the whole
daddy.
thing. Puff
Can
daddy
you
is in my
shave?
house.
Can you reach
Well,
down there?
I can't reach. I mean, I can't see much down there because my belly, obviously is in the way. But like Loz, who just gave birth, like one of my other friends, she's just like, no, you just got to do it in the mirror and just whatever. But no, I can't really see down there. Obviously, just in the mirror. It's puff daddy is all I can tell you. Swollen.
Has it changed colour?
No. It does go darker. People say it goes darker down there, but that hasn't happened yet.
Nice.
Oh,
I'm going to have to check it out. I need to get across that border.
Oh, shit.
Ellie, so I like constantly go on and on about fertility and obviously the female reproductive system and like everything that I've gone through. I've just learned so much about kind of that region. And like I always say, it's something that it should have been spoken about in school. Like I actually don't understand why we are not taught about the female reproductive system and fertility. And I guess vulva diversity should kind of fall under this category. Do you think that normalizing vulva diversity, oh my God, spit it out, it's something that we should be taught in school? Or like,
yeah, I think it's
like
part
everyone's
of
just competing to be so perfect these days, but no one's taught that everyone's different.
Well, it fits into like this huge gap that there is in the sex education. But I think that there is a giant shift that's happening. Even that show, Sex Education, that's come out. And there's all these, really great Instagram pages that you can follow now. And I think like I'm so honoured to be a part of this huge change that is happening in the world that we're all pushing for so badly for all of this to become part of sex education in high school, because it is so important. And I think it would make a huge difference if we all learnt everything that I talk about. I'm comfortable in my skin. And I think it's humans need to talk to other humans, because we are all going through all these things silently. And I'm a huge advocate of talking. I think that communicating with anyone and everyone about the things that you're going through makes you feel so much less alone. And like Chloe, I'm sure you've met so many other people going through what you've went through. And I think there is going to be ways now that everyone's speaking up and we're using social media, that we can connect with other people that are going through what we're going through. Because from things like hemorrhoids to herpes, even Ellidy to losing loved ones, like it's all things that are happening to people out there every single day. But that needs to be spoken about, because we need to learn from each other how to go through it. And if I had have seen what other people's vulvas looked like in high school at a young age, I never would have felt this shame. I never, ever, ever would have felt this shame. And I am creating what I wish I had in high school, because we are so different. And I created in my head this weird idea that I had a different vulva, but it's actually completely normal. So yeah, I think it would have been very different if I was taught or shown different diagrams in sex education, or if they had better resources, which is why I'm creating through my flabs, so that schools can have a book to be like, this is what they look like.
And I think as well, like there's so much stuff in school, like so many subjects like that you get taught in school that are like compulsory subjects. Like I seriously do not barely remember anything I learned in school. Why are we not taught life skills? Like it's crazy. Like I don't remember anything about sex ed that I got taught. Like there's like one, and there was that one video about how to make a baby, and it's fucking bullshit.
Yeah, we're learning
Yeah.
about fucking algebra, 3 plus A. Like, that's so unnecessary. You should be coming into our
Seriously.
3 plus
Like,
A. Like, fuck off.
when the hell, like, would most normal people, unless you're
Nah.
like someone that uses
Yeah.
letters to count,
Bro, I don't think it's ever necessary.
But they need to have like special sex educators to come in, because
Yeah.
how many people do you know are uncomfortable talking about sex alone in the bedroom with their partner, let alone in front of a whole classroom? So it's like they need to educate people. It needs to be like, I mean, sexologists and stuff, but they need to be going into high schools, because it's hard to get your PE teacher, your everyday, like John from down the street, coming in, talking to young kids about how to communicate, how if you want anal, it's okay, whatever, as long as you consent. Like, it's like really hard and a math teacher to talk about.
Eggie, you need to become the new Healthy Harold in schools. Maybe that's what you do after you've released the coffee table book.
Okay, I'm so down.
That'd be sick.
It would be.
I love that.
I mean, we need to multiply Eggies. We need more than half a dozen.
We need a few of you, though. Yeah, we need a few running around. What about I remember you telling me about some of the dads that you nanny are like, what you're doing is amazing because they have young girls and they want them to grow up feeling comfortable. Like, can you talk to us about them?
Yeah, so I work at a kindergarten on the Northern Beaches, and a lot of the people I photograph are teachers or lawyers, and they always say to me, like, can I come into this project and just be anonymous because I'm a teacher or because I'm a mum? And I actually had someone pull out of the book because she's a mum of 2 teenage boys, and she got a little bit worried that they were going to find out. And I feel like I'm a teacher, and I'm really proud to be doing this, and I'm really proud to talk about safe sex. And a lot of the parents at the kindergarten I work at talk to me with questions of like, how old should I be talking to my little girls about getting their periods and things like this. And yeah, there's a dad who I've worked for forever, and he's got 2 daughters, and he's like, I cannot wait to have this coffee table book on my kitchen bench so that the girls never, ever, ever grow up feeling like they have to change their bodies to fit society's idea of beauty. They're just going to know that everyone's different, and they can come to me whenever they like. And bodies is not a subject that's off topic, like taboo, fuck off, like come and talk to me about whatever you want. And comfortable in my skin is a really good bridging way for them to come forward. Like, a lot of people I know that want to bring up a topic that they're struggling to talk about, they send them like a post that I've done, and then they'll send it to their partners and be like, can we talk about this tonight? And it's the same with parents. They'll send me a message and be like, how can I bring this up with my wife or something like that so we can talk to my kids. But yeah, I talk to the parents all the time. So people are like, wait, you're a nanny and you photograph pussy? And I'm like, yeah, and it goes really hand in hand. I love it. It's perfect.
It literally does kind of go hand in hand. That's amazing.
I love that. I love that for you, Ellie.
It's so scary for a young person who gets their period and they've not been taught anything about it. Like, we need to be teaching these things so much older. Or when you suddenly get pubic hair. I photographed 2 mums, and they bought one. You guys know them, Northern Beaches girls, and they've got so many kids between the 2 of them, and they bought all the girls. And I've got these videos of them jumping on the bed because my bedroom has like all the vulvas on Polaroids printed out, and they're like jumping on the bed, being like, "Oh, there's pubes and everything." And they're like, I've got the best videos. I'll have to put them up so you guys can share them. But they're like, am I going to look like this when I'm older? And the mum was like, yeah, you might have red pubes because we have red hair. And, the other mum's like, oh, you're going to be really bushy because I'm really bushy, but you might not be, and that's okay. Like, it's just voicing it all. And these girls are like 6 and 8, and they've just loved the whole experience. They loved watching their mum be photographed, and she was pregnant, so we photographed her beautiful belly during it, and just like we did this whole like worshipping of the mother and her belly, and we put crystals all over it. We had the young girls blessing the belly, and it's so nice it's so nice for the kids to grow up in this environment, to understand that if like nudity can be safe if but if done with people that you love and people that are safe. And then they honor their bodies and they can learn about like consent and their worth. Like we're teaching them self-worth and how to say no and, you know, just making the conversations less awkward.
I guess like on that kind of on that topic about the feet, like the body, a lot of our listeners always write to us and say like, what would you tell your younger self, or what would you tell your 20-year-old self or teenage self? Like, what would you have told your younger self? And like, what advice can you give younger girls going through these self-esteem or body shaming kind of issues?
I would say be unconditionally yourself and unapologetically yourself. And again, going back to the voicing whatever you're thinking, because I held it in so much. And I know, Ellidy, we were speaking this morning about two of our really good friends had labiaplasty when one was 16 and the other one was 18. And I felt so sad.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't even know this was a thing until I heard you start talking about it. Like, obviously not today, but like, I'm like, it's all new to me. I didn't even know.
Yeah. Well, I just wish that I had, because we would have been all in high school together and feeling the same things. And it's so sad that we kept it in and didn't speak with each other, because we could have just like created all these fun jokes about it and like had a laugh and been like, okay, we all feel this way. And I think that that's the thing with everything. It's like you should never go through anything alone. And that's what I want to say to teenagers is like, reach out for help and ask your parents or ask your sisters or your family, or reach out to me or someone that's a safe like model for you, role model, because you're probably not alone. And also just to love the body that you have, because I truly do think all beautiful bodies are beautiful bodies. And you know, you should just age gracefully with whatever it is that you have, because you're only going to have one body your whole life, so you better make it a good one. The love and relationship you have with it.
Yeah.
I guess we're also kind of like, before we got on this recording, we're all kind of throwing around things that we are insecure about, because obviously there's something in every single person's body that like they don't love. Like, I mean, look, I'm saying don't love, but like are insecure about, because like we're obviously promoting self-love, so you've got to love your whole self. But I was like thinking before, and like I said to Ellie, she's like, what are you insecure about? And I was like, well, I've had when I was younger, I had my appendix out and I had this like scar that's like, I guess anyone else it was like a keyhole surgery, but like I have this scar like just below my underpant line, and it kind of like healed. It's probably like 1 centimeter in size, and it like healed like a little bit like keloid scar. So it was like a little bit raised. And then after now having my laparoscopies and hysteroscopies at the beginning of this year, I've got like another 3 scars, like all in that area, like one towards my hip, one towards like a few more. And it's like, I mean, obviously I'm married and like Paul is like the only sexual partner that I have, but like I feel like if I wasn't, I would definitely be, I wouldn't want to, I'd feel weird being nude in front
I'd
of people.
say my advice to that is to give yourself that part of your body extra love every single day. Like when you're in the shower and you may be doing a breast massage, or if you're going to bed and you're masturbating, if Paul's away or if Paul's next to you, I would use oil and I would massage that part of my body and give it even more love than any other part of my body and try and connect with it. And you know what? You don't have to completely love every single part of your body, but you can accept it and you can say, okay, I have these scars. That's reality. I'm going to have them every single day. So I'm going to give them extra love when I give my body love. And I think that doing those like morning or nighttime self-pleasure routines does help people so much. And I think it is a really important part. It should be part of everybody's day. And especially if you have something that you feel self-conscious of. Ellidy, I know maybe you were saying sometimes you don't love every part of your legs, but if you massage your legs and give them more love.
I love you so much, seriously. You're like, when you
can't
guys
reach them right now.
can't reach them
right now.
But you're so cute. You're like, if you girls are in the shower and maybe you're giving yourself a breast massage, maybe massage. And I'm thinking, is this a thing we should, like, I'm going to implement that into my everyday routine, a breast massage. Why not? Like, that's stunning.
Fully.
You should. You absolutely should.
I really, it's important to be honoring and
you have to do the work. Like, so many people come to me and they're like, I've never had an orgasm. I've never, I've never. And I'm like, but have you gotten to know your body? Have you put in the work? It's like, someone saying, I can't play the piano. I'm like, have you ever practiced playing the piano? Have you spent the time?
Fully.
And, that's the same thing with pleasure and with body positivity and all of that. It does take work. You have to put in the time and the love.
One thing I do sometimes think, like, if sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't know if I feel like getting in a bikini today or something. I think when I'm like 80 and, I'm down at the local pool doing laps in my one piece or whatever, I'll be like looking at these younger girls running around in bikinis, looking just like free and young. And I'll just be like, why? Like, rip into a bikini while you can, like, not while you can, because you can your whole life, but like we're in our 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s, like those are our years to be ripping into little bikinis and just like feeling free in that. Like we shouldn't be covering up at this age. I mean, we shouldn't be covering up ever, but we just need to rock it and just that's sometimes
rock what you got.
Feel confident.
You have to step out of your comfort zone. I photographed a girl on the northern beaches again, who had worn a bikini for 5 years. If she'd been to the beach, she'd just worn like board shorts and she dove in and got out. And I gave her homework for the next 5 weekends in a row to go and spend 2 hours at the beach in a bikini and send me hot selfies. And she did it. And she's like, it was about 2 years ago, and she just spends half her life at the beach now, and she was saying she feels so sad that she missed out on so many years of being in the ocean because of worrying what other people. Can you imagine? Not one other person would ever be looking at her, judging her in a bikini.
Literally.
And we build these things up in our head, and it's really, really sad.
Yeah, like you're walking down to go for a swim and you're like, everyone must be watching me right now. And the truth is no one's really watching. Like, just go for a swim and have fun.
Seriously.
Yeah.
So I want you to tell us about what is the most rewarding thing that you've got out of Comfortable in My Skin, the movement that you've created. Surely you've got a big one.
Yes, I have a few biggies. I mean, it's definitely the transformation from when someone walks in for a photo shoot to when they walk out, or even 6 months later when they send me amazing messages being like, one girl met her boyfriend the night after the photo shoot because she went out into Manly just feeling so beautiful and confident, and she said they're going to get married, and she's like, I would have never have gotten up to him. She went up to him. She said she was just feeling so confident. So she wrote me a huge thank you message. There was someone's husband of the person I photographed the night before the wedding wrote me a message saying, I want to let you know I'm getting married tomorrow to somebody that you once photographed about 2 years ago, and you changed our whole relationship.
Ellie,
and I'm gonna cry. It was so emotional for me. And so being part of people's journeys to loving to loving
don't, I'll fucking cry.
You're literally changing so many people's lives. It's wild.
It's pretty crazy. I do feel really blessed to be part of these journeys. But even watching in the 4 hours or 3 hours that they're with me, the transformation, but then, mostly hearing from either their loved ones or from them a little bit later in life of what's changed because of that one shoot they did with me. It's really heartwarming. It's unbelievable, actually.
That is amazing.
Yeah. So it's an easy answer. It's got to be the transformation of someone that I photographed. And then there is about 9 people that have gotten in touch with me that have been booked in for labiaplasty, that have paid the deposit and everything, that have cancelled after finding Comfortable in My Skin. Even in London and overseas, and they've reached out, they've sent me like screenshots being like, look, I was booked in and I pulled out once I listened to your podcast or I found your page. And that one really gets me like crying because I had someone change my life, and now I'm changing other people's lives. And so I can personally feel that connection, and that one really gets me.
And it's all thanks to that beautiful Indian man who changed your life at the start. You're honestly incredible.
You also do a little bit of a clothing line called Comfortable in the Skin, the label. Do you want to tell our listeners a little bit about that and what that's all about?
Yes,
and I'm wearing it now.
You're
Sorry,
wearing
darlings.
it.
If anyone's watching on YouTube, I'm actually wearing the crop top. I'm actually wearing the bottoms, but I don't know if you guys want to see. but the top is so comfortable.
I live in it.
To get some.
The reason why that started was because I needed to start charging for photo shoots, just because it became my full time. I stopped teaching and wanted to do this full time, and then I felt like I wanted to give the people I was shooting something to take home. So that's when the t-shirt I'm wearing, I started giving them as gifts. And then I think in the first day I put it up saying I had them, I sold like 300 in one day. So I was like, oh wow, people want this. And then I just started going more and more doing the crops and undies. And then the sex toys is, if you're watching on YouTube, this is really exciting. Well, that came because everyone was starting to write to me, because I guess I do talk about masturbation and stuff quite a lot on Comfortable My Skin's Instagram. And so people started asking me, like, what do you use? So then I decided to sell and create what I like to use personally for me, and then I can teach people how to use it for them, because that all fits into, like, when people come to me and they're like, and I'll say to someone, say, like, do you usually have clitoral orgasms, or do you have penetration orgasms? And people are like, I don't even know. I don't know the difference. So I'm like, get to know your body, get to know what works for you, and then you're going to have better sex on your own. You're going to have better partnered sex. And I love talking about it, so I just figured I'm going to like start fucking selling it.
Yes.
Because I'm so passionate about it. And the clothing is really great because, I mean, it's just merchandise, really. There's people walking around, so it gets people talking about it. People often message me being like, I just bumped into someone wearing a Comfortable My Skin t-shirt in Darwin. It happened the other day in Darwin, all over Australia. Yeah, and it's like a beautiful little community, and so people can make new friends with like-minded people. Yeah.
We all needed this so much. You've created such like a cult following on Instagram or on social media in general. And what you've also done, and you can talk about like, I'd love for you to elaborate on this. You've also created little group chats, haven't you? Like, you've got like a herpes chat. Don't you have a few little kind of chats about like people have come to you? Hey,
I have 28 herpes group chats with 30 people in each. I have thrush group chats, bacteria vaginosis group chats, vaginismus group chats. So I started noticing that there was a certain amount of topics that kept popping up. And if it was something that I didn't know about, I was like, oh, I remember this person that I photographed had this. And so that's when I started connecting people that were coming to me with the same things. And then it just like grew and grew and grew and grew. Especially the herpes. If I open up a herpes group chat, it's usually full by the end of the day. So I've started opening them up like once a week now.
Because it's like so true. The only person they really talk to probably about it is their doctor. Like,
exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
And they have the comfort of sitting behind their phones and talking to these other people online that going through the same thing. That's amazing.
Yeah, we have a Zoom meeting, and there's going to be like 50 people in that all carry the herpes virus, and it's just a safe place to discuss how to tell new sexual partners or what natural remedies to use if you're having an outbreak. And then we're going to do a live on Thursday night talking about what we learnt in that group chat, but the Zoom is private, so people often struggle to voice that they carry the herpes virus because there's this stigma about it, which is such a shame because, if you have a cold sore, no one ever says anything. They're like, oh, I've got a cold sore, but if it's on your genitals, people feel shame. But there's a lot of people. I try to put like a few people in each group that are really comfortable talking about it, and they can help the people that have just got the virus, and then they might, there's like people to guide them. So because I just don't have there's not enough time for me to speak with every single person. So it's nice to connect people that have gone through whatever topic it is with people that are just starting to go through whatever it is. So they all help each other.
You're literally changing the world.
Good egg. Like the world needs more of you in it.
More Eggies.
Thanks,
I feel like every time I speak to you, I just like always have got such a big smile on my face. Like I don't think I've ever you're just such a shining darling child.
Yeah.
You're just such a shining human, honestly. Like I don't think that I know one person that would not want to be around you. Like honestly, you never hear you say a bad word about anyone. Like you're actually probably one of the most amazing people that I know, and I take my hat off to you. I don't know, like you're amazing. I love you so much.
I love you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, and I feel like there's like everyone just feels so comfortable around you. I actually remember earlier this year, I think I was probably having a shit day. I don't know. You came up to mine and you were going to stay for a few days, and every time, because Ellie's such a hippie, she like literally lives out of her car for like half the time, and so every time Ellie comes over to stay, she just comes in with like bags of washing. She's like, I need a shower before we even chat. I'm doing washing. I'm having a shower. And I'm like,
that to me. She literally came to my house once and she was like, oh my God, I've been living up like in my car in Cairns. I haven't showered for like a week or like she's like, I haven't showered for 2 weeks. Like I'm going on this date tonight. Do you have a razor that I can borrow so I can shave my legs? I haven't shaved my legs in months. I'm like, you are one of a kind, girl. And Paul's like, where's Ellie? I'm like, fuck, she's down there in the shower shaving her legs because she hasn't had a shower in 2 weeks. And Paul's like, what the fuck?
I remember.
Oh my God.
I'd been on the road for 6 weeks living in that
6
troopy,
weeks.
and I hadn't shaved my legs the whole trip, and we just got back. And I remember saying to you, like, Paul was like, your legs are out of control. You're going to go on a date like that. And then I was like, well, I don't really care. And Chloe, you were like, shave. And then I was like, I don't have a razor. And Paul was like, give the girl a fucking razor. And you were like, well, I'm not going to use it again after you. I was like,
oh shit.
Sorry. Well, she hasn't showered in 6 weeks. Fuck, who knows what's growing in those leg hairs?
It's a jungle down there, doll. No, but Ellie like comes in, like obviously finds her room, and then I remember you were in the shower and I was like in your room waiting for you to come out, and I was just lying there. We'd barely even said hello yet because you just like volcanoed into the house. It was epic. And then you come in and you just start like patting me on the head. I think you'd remember this was earlier this year, and I fall asleep for like easily an hour or two, and I wake up. Chloe's just rocked up. You've just rocked up going, where are you girls? Walking up the stairs, and we wake up in like one of
on each other,
the spare rooms, and I'm like, oh my God, we didn't even say 2 words to each other. You just waltz in, we just have a nap straight away, and it was just the best. Like, I just fucking love you. You're honestly the best. It was like you knew what I needed. I needed a little head tickle, and I just fell straight asleep.
That's so beautiful.
I miss you so much. But okay, everyone, Elle, where can we find you, and how can people contact you if they want to join any of the groups and everything? Talk to us.
So the Instagram, I'm very highly shadow banned, so you have to write comfortable in my skin, the full name with an underscore at the end. Instagram hates me, so they make it really hard to find me.
Do they not realize what good you're doing in the world?
No, if you can't write like masturbation or anything like that, they hate it all.
We'll also put some links in our stories that people can actually just click straight through to you as well. So if you can't find her, we'll help you out.
Yeah, and then there's a Facebook group which is called Comfortable in My Skin Chit Chat, and then there's the label page, Comfortable in My Skin _ the label. And then you can find me. And I don't let people add my personal Instagram because I'm a woo girl and people don't need to see that.
Oh, don't worry. All she posts on there is llamas anyway. She's got a llama obsession.
But anyway, it's been so much fun, and I love you girls so much, and I'm so
Thanks so much, Ellie. That was so good. I loved every second of it. If you are watching it, I literally haven't taken the smile off my face the whole time.
Same.
Love you so much.
Love you.
Love you
so much.
Bye.
Bye, darling. Thank you.